Hi, I'm back. This is going to be very quick today, but I wanted to do a recap of what we just finished watching it started at 10 and now it's 4 o'clock on the East Coast, or almost 4 o'clock. So it was a long day, but there were two witnesses in this first day of the impeachment inquiry. I can't believe that I'm saying that I actually watched a public hearing of an impeachment inquiry. And there were two witnesses, and I made some notes, so I'm going to be looking down. But again, this will be quick. But the first thing I want to make sure everybody understands is, what is this about? Why are we even going through this? So just very quickly, in 2014 or 15, it was during the Obama administration, Ukraine, which is a small country, not that small, small in terms of GDP, but not in terms of geography, was invaded by Russia. And Putin, I understand, I don't know him personally, has never gotten over the breakup of the Soviet Union, and it was an aggressive move that got him kicked out of the G8. That's why it's now the G7. It was something that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to invade a sovereign nation. So since that time, Ukraine has been looking for all kinds of help from everybody in the world, not just from the United States. Now, you will often hear folks say that the Obama administration did not give the Ukraine anything except for blankets. So if you believe that, I have this bridge because I need some money in my account that I want to sell you. Of course, it was not just blankets. What the Obama administration did was they agreed to give them non-lethal, I think that's what it's called, support. And it was something like $100 million of support. Yeah, there was some military needs in terms of blankets, but they gave them vehicles and things that they could use in this war with Russia. And so it was not blankets. They did not give $100 million of blankets. Well, anyway, that aid continued. Each year, Congress reappropriated the money. It continued under the GOP president. They did decide to give some lethal weapons. I think that's what it's called. And it was done in 2017. It was done in 2018. And then all of a sudden in 2019, the year before the election, it's decided that we need to get something in return for this. It was decided by the criminal in the Oval Office that he said, if I'm going to give you this money, and it was not his personal money, but if I'm going to give you this money, then I want something in return. And he did say that on the phone call, that he didn't feel like he was getting what he should be getting when giving this kind of help. So that's what this is about. Money that Congress had already appropriated for the Ukraine. Trump said, not so fast. What I want this guy to do, this new president to do, is I want him to go in front of a microphone and I want him to say three things. Biden, the oil company, Burisma, and the 2016 election. He wanted to say that Clinton had worked with the Ukraine to stop him from being president. Okay, so I wanted to let you know what this is all about. And so just very quickly, the two people who testified today, Ambassador Taylor, he's a West Point grad. I found out at the end of it that he graduated like number 5 out of 800 graduates. He could have done anything in this world. He ended up going to combat in Vietnam, won a Bronze Star, a couple of other awards. And he was actually retired, but he was brought back into this by Mike Pompeo when they got rid of the other ambassador to Ukraine, who will be speaking on Friday, I believe, because she wasn't playing ball. Now, Ambassador Taylor didn't know all of that, so he did step in, even though he said his wife told him not to. You should always listen to your wife. But he got back in, and I'm actually glad he did, because when he saw what was going on, he said, heck no, we can't do this. The other person is very interesting. He works for the State Department, George Kent, and he is the senior person in this country, in the State Department, on Ukraine. So we had two people who were experts on that country today. And there was just really just a summary. Don't have to go through what everybody else said. This is what the Democrats were saying. The Democratic members of the House of Representatives are basically saying that we have been giving security assistance to the Ukraine. They need it, or else Russia is sitting there waiting to take over. They are in active battle right now. They are actively fighting right now. So it's not like it's going to happen. While we were watching this on television, there are people who are getting wounded and people who are getting killed, and they need the support of everyone in order to fight off Russia. And so we've been giving the security assistance, and then right before the phone call in July, the one that everybody's talking about, the criminal in the Oval Office put the security assistance on hold. He froze it. And Mike Mulvaney, who is his chief of staff, who also happens to be the head of the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, which controls all of that, made sure that money was put on hold. So by the time the criminal in the Oval Office had that phone call with the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, he was saying to him, yeah, all of this stuff is good. Congratulations on being the new president, but I need you to do me a favor though. And so we know what that means. And so the Democrats just continued beating that home today. The two witnesses said they were totally concerned. They had heard all kinds of things about how if they did not stand up in front of a microphone, if Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, did not stand up in front of a microphone, and he just wanted him to say, Biden, Burisma, the 2016 election investigations. That was going to be enough, totally enough, for the criminal in the Oval Office and all of his minions to run with. And so they talked about all of their concerns. The new bombshell that you'll hear about on tonight, something we didn't know because Ambassador Taylor did not know it until a few days ago. One of his staff members was in the car with Ambassador Solent, I believe that's how you say his name. He has nothing to do with this. He is the ambassador to the EU. He has nothing to do with the Ukraine, and nobody knows why he's an ambassador except he gave $1 million to the inauguration committee of the criminal in the Oval Office. But that works all the time. When you give money, you get an ambassadorship. I can't say anything. It works both ways, both parties. But he was on a phone call with the criminal in the Oval Office. And when he got off the phone call, one of Ambassador Taylor's staffers was there with him. And so the staffer asked him when he hung up from the criminal in the Oval Office, he said, well, what does Trump think about the Ukraine? And I wrote this down because I couldn't believe it. The staffer was told by the ambassador of the EU, a friend of the criminal in the Oval Office. He was told this: Trump only cares about getting to the Bidens. He doesn't care anything at all about the Ukraine. And so that was kind of a bombshell today. All the criminal in the Oval Office wanted to know was about the investigations. And that ambassador is coming to testify next week. So we'll hear from him. A couple of people were texting me during these and was saying, "Oh my goodness, the Republicans are doing such a good job." Actually, they did have a good defense if you believe that attempted murder, robbery, rape, anything that you attempt to do, if you feel like you don't do it, then you're okay. That was their defense. Their defense is, wait a minute, they ended up getting the assistance, and they didn't make a statement about the Bidens. So no harm, no foul. But this is the only reason this didn't go through. The timeline, and I think it's perfect because it was on my birthday. The Ukrainians found out that this money was being withheld. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, said, "Okay, I'm going to get on CNN and I'm going to make this statement. I don't know if I'm going to really do this investigation, but all he wants is a statement," which is true. All the criminal in the Oval Office wanted was a statement so that he could bring Biden's numbers down and help him lose support. But what happened on September 9th was the whistleblower came forward. And actually, I think they came forward before September 9th, but on my birthday, that report got to the White House. And so they knew that it was about to blow up because this whistleblower said the phone call was bad, and nobody knew about the phone call before then. And other stuff was going on, and y'all need to see it. The Department of Justice kind of tried to squelch it, because think about that. The phone call was July 25th, September 9th. What happened in between? The Department of Justice tried to squelch it down, but it came up. And once the criminal in the Oval Office and all of his minions found out, 48 hours after the whistleblower's report got to the White House, boom, the money was released to the Ukraine. So the Republicans' defense is they got the money. My issue is that you're a criminal. Just because you did not finish the crime doesn't mean you're not a criminal. So that's what happened today. Let me check my notes. I think I gave you everything. Yep, I think I gave you everything. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments below, because I'm going to be doing these recaps and all kinds of things on this YouTube channel. Sometimes it'll be just me. Sometimes it'll be me and Rashonda. So we're looking forward to this. But I really want us to stay engaged, because these next 11 months are the most important months of our lives. So ask me any questions. I'll answer them. Hope this helps. See ya.